It's the sirens. Everyone's welcome to the GameFi podcast. I'm your boy, Coach E. Crime Violet, Kimiko. Kimmy, what was your? You don't even know it, do you? Yeah, she about to look it up real quick. But we got Atlanta Gamer Life herself in the house. Chemical extraordinaire, people extraordinaire. We got Jay Blizzy, Jay Black on the ones and twos back there, man. We're gonna have a lot of fun today in this episode. It's March, y'all. We in the last month of the first quarter of 2022. The last month of the first quarter. Shouts out to all the women out there. This is women's. Did they call it Women's Suffrage Month or just Women's History Month? Because I don't want to say it wrong. Because
Women's Month.
I'm gonna say this is
Women's History Month.
Okay, Women's History Month, and based on the suffrage movement that was going on, a lot of that stuff happened. Women's liberation, feminism, all that, black feminist thought, equality, just, all of the things that a human just supposed to have, people of different ethnicities and people of different genders have had to fight over and over again just to be, thought of and not even worked with or treated fairly, just to be thought of. And it's a crazy way to say it, but again, GameFi podcast, LivehiphopDaily.tv. We are here, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. We had some conversations beforehand, and as I look back on the last couple of months, going into this last month of the first quarter, there was a theme that kind of came up, and we talked about frustrations. And I don't know, Chemical, she's doing a lot, always doing a lot, and sometimes we just got to reflect on it, and then it lets us know that we all are kind of in the same boat. We all doing the same thing. We all, trying to make it do what it do, in our own little way. So we're getting into the gaming segment. Let's start off. GameFi podcast. Hey man, little bankhead bounce, ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm from Atlanta, that's what we do. Cause I am from Atlanta. I don't care what's old girl name? Amaretta. I'm from Atlanta. My address says Atlanta. I'm a product of APS, Atlanta Public School System. So I'm from Atlanta. I don't care what they say.
They had something come out. I seen somebody put something out this week.
Oh yeah.
Everybody talking about they Grady babies.
Grady babies, but I mean,
but they saying the dude, I guess the Grady dude was a slave master or something.
He is. Was he a slave master? Because he's the same Grady that Grady High School was named after. Yeah. And I don't know if he was necessarily a slave master. I want to say he was a mayor. He was one of the first mayors. May have been a slave master at that point. I think he was one of the first mayors of Atlanta, and he's very controversial. With things going on, which is why they renamed the high school Midtown High, because it was named after Grady, same Grady. So that's interesting that, a lot of people talk about that. Yeah, you Grady baby, but I mean, I'm a Crawford Loan baby. So again, there's more than one hospital.
They said the people that's not Grady babies had insurance.
That's actually, that is kind of the running joke. Like, my mama had insurance, so I was born at Crawford. I wasn't born at Grady now, but I mean, if you have any type of trauma, if you're gonna go somewhere to get fixed, you better take your behind to Grady if you're in Atlanta, because they gonna get you right. You're gonna survive. Now, if you go to some of them other hospitals, it's a crapshoot on the trauma. It's a crapshoot. So I don't know. You a Grady baby?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Grady baby, 2000 Grady High School.
I didn't know you graduated from Grady High School.
I didn't.
Oh.
But I was
you went to Grady because you went to Grady. You went to all the schools. What other schools you went to? You went to Grady? You went to
I went
Carver?
to Doug. I went to Carver.
Doug,
I went to
Carver.
Phoenix Alternative.
Oh,
Then I
see,
went to
hey,
Grady.
she a bad girl.
No.
She would beat people up, my man. Phoenix. She had to come I'm just slide over, man. See, Chemical, man. I'll tell you, you do not know. Chemical done had like 20 lives, all wrapped up in one, and she's still living about 50 more right now. Like while we speaking right now. But so Doug, Grady, you said Carver, and you said Phoenix Alternative.
Grady. Oh, and then Washington Night School.
Oh, you did Washington Night School.
Afterwards, I got my GED.
Okay, well, hey,
So
you
was
finished
like-
what you're doing. Shouts out to Washington High. Shouts out to Miss Johnson, Miss Kobe Williams, Coach Avery. I'm trying to think of all of the support. So I've been meeting with their esports team.
Okay.
So we'll talk a little bit about Washington High.
And
Give you
esports.
an update when we get to the esports segment, because my guys have been doing their thing over there. But shouts out to Washington High for a show. Coach Howard, who's the coach of the robotics team, he's one of my frat brothers over there as well. So Washington High been doing that thing. That's my backyard. When I first started working for APS, I was in Project Grad. And I had 3 home schools that I worked with. It was South Atlanta, Washington High School, and Carver High School. Those are my schools that I worked with to, get the students prepared, because there was a program called Project Grad, which gave them scholarships to go to school.
Okay.
So, it was I was college readiness liaison, so I had to get them ready, help them to apply for scholarships, help them to apply for college, and really have a good understanding and be ready to transition when they graduate. So, which is a big thing that you have to do for students. And now we're in the gaming segment. I want to give a shout out, and I don't know if you know this young lady. Her name is Miranda Johnson. She has created the Mochaverse.
Oh, the Mochaverse. I love chocolate and I love coffee. So tell me more about it.
So the Mochaverse. So we hearing all this stuff about the metaverse and all these different things. The Mochaverse is that, but for people of color, right? Mocha, that's where you get the mocha from. And then we're not being exclusive. We're just making sure that we have a platform that is making sure that it's a safe place. Because when we get into Women's History Month, not everything has been a safe place for women.
No.
Not everything has been a safe place for people of color. So, we have to create places for that, for them to thrive and them to create and do the things they're doing. So I'm talking about from game development to developing environments, virtual reality, interactive worlds, all of that. She's doing all of that.
Okay.
She's awesome. We're going to have her on. I told her, I got to have you on the podcast.
Okay.
So Miranda, we're going to get you on the podcast. Miss Mochaverse herself. So sometime maybe this month. I mean, it is Women's History Month, so I think we ought to just line this up with a lot of women. We're starting off with this extraordinary woman next to me with Chemical, wearing right here. So, we're just going to keep it going. Why not? I mean, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So tell everybody a little bit more about yourself. Just reiterate, I know they've met you before, but just in case if this is your first time tuning in, this is Chemical. And Chemical, who are you?
So, you can call me a little bit of a renaissance, but I am the, founder, CEO.
No, not I guess. You are.
I am the founder, CEO of Atlanta Gamer Life.
Yeah.
We're going on 5 years right now. And then also, I am the Chief Marketing Officer of BESN TV, as well as the Director of Partnerships for BESN X Community. Then I have a whole bunch of other positions all over the place, including like production assistant here at GameFi Podcast.
I appreciate it. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I do a lot of collaborations and a lot of development in a lot of projects right now.
Now to the layman out there, layman person, to somebody who's on the outside looking in, they would think that's a whole lot, which it is. I'm not saying it's not a whole lot going on. However, and I tell people this all the time, because we all doing a lot of stuff in this space. One of the reasons why it's not as hard is because all of this stuff is related. It's not like you're doing something way here on the right, and this is y'all's right, my left, and then way here on the left, my right, y'all's left. It's not like that, right? I mean, all of it is connected when you're talking about the gaming industry and digital entertainment. It's not that much different. Do you feel the same way?
Oh, I guess it's okay. Like to me, when it comes to each each individual job is like different. So it's one extreme to the next. Whether you're going to be marketing or you're going to be like talking about or creating content, or you're going to be a streamer, they all have a different pathway and a way to master it as well. So it does come together in its own little ecosystem, but at the same time, like, it's hard to just like from the get-go do this all, like all at the same time. It's like I've had many experience, many experience, leadership experience, and years of experience in what I do. So, yeah.
Got you. What do you feel will make it easier or would help in that realm? And we putting it out there because I want the audience to know, things that they could be doing, because they're having the same questions. They're doing multiple things. I don't think there's anybody out there in the world who's really just doing one thing. They're doing multiple things. So what do you think would be helpful in the execution of doing multiple things?
Organization, or just you have to lay out what you want to do.
Gotcha.
Like, for instance, a lot of people out here, they're looking for ways to make money at home. Now we have remote work, and you also have the content creation like phase where everybody can actually go viral on a social media platform and get money from it, or they can start streaming, or they can start creating different content. But the question is, what kind of content you're going to make, where you're going to do it, and what do you need to get it started? A lot of times, since we're in the gaming section, let's talk about gamers and streaming.
Okay.
Or gamers and podcasting. With that, you have to really just think about what you want to do and create quality content at the beginning.
So, I know.
We in the city, guys. We in Atlanta.
Hey, you never know. So, at least it was just a horn that time. You might get the sirens, or you might get some other sounds that's
not on this board.
Right.
So yeah, so like you, if you're, no matter, you can use, everyone nowadays, they use their mobile phone for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Video games, you can actually create, your live streams here. So don't think that you have to have really expensive equipment. You can graduate to those things. Even with the type of games that you play, depending on the game that you play, there's, different adapters and things like that. But the first thing is to start getting yourself out there and think about if this is what I want to do and this is what I want to learn.
So the plan, I'm with you on that. I'm not a very planful person. I know my wife is very planful, and a lot of things that she does, and she gets a lot done. And I mean, women in general can get a lot done. It's out. There's a saying out there: if you want to get something done, you need to have women on your team to make sure it gets done, because they're gonna be planful about what it is, and they're gonna make it happen, make it do what it do. But so I agree with that. Making sure it get better. I'm trying to be better at it. Shouts out to that girl Asia Carthan. She's a student at Fort Valley. I think she's a junior this year, but she's a YouTuber. She's a student that came through, and she actually did a YouTube on getting started.
Okay.
Right. And she actually, what you just said is what she said, the planning out your season from beginning to end. And it can be as detailed as you can make it, but at least you've planned it so you can kind of know with the end in mind where you're going. Because when I was teaching and we had to do lesson plans for the year, at the beginning of the year, you were told to design your lessons with the end in mind. So you know where you want to go. So then you have to backfill in the stuff that's going to help you get to where you're trying to go. And I think that's some sound advice. I really do. That's about it. Now, how about on the team side? Because you are a superwoman, but it becomes difficult when you're the only woman that's doing it. You're the only person that's working on it. How valuable is it to have a team around you and someone who can to help shoulder that load?
Speaking of which, I have a new assistant.
I have
an assistant, yay! But yeah, teams is great to have people with the same common goal and what they're trying to do. It's always good as far as learning. You learn faster because what this person may know, you may not know. You all could share your science and science, like you don't play a civilization. You can share your the things that you learn from each other without having to spend all that time to go to YouTube and stuff like that.
Right.
But
YouTube got everything. He'll tell you how to do anything.
University of YouTube. That's what we're living off of, apparently.
And it's not. I mean, my uncle, he is what 60 something now. He's a mechanic, but I'm telling you right now, if he had YouTube growing up, he'd have been a multi-millionaire by now. I'm telling you, Jay Black. I mean, anything he go on YouTube and he'll figure it out. He is a DIYer, do-it-yourselfer. He loves it. He'll just go on there, and then he'll do it, and he'll come and fix it. He loves it. He's retired now, so that's what he loves to do. He just be like, I'll fix it. I'll come in there and do it.
Oh, speaking of which, so we were talking about teamwork, but at the same time, I just want to touch back on the streaming thing. So I didn't make a setup on how to set up your stream, but I actually did make an article on how to become a Twitch affiliate in 14 days.
Woo, 14 days?
Yeah, so you got to go to besn.tv, click on blog, and then there is an article on how to become a Twitch affiliate. Technically, I can get you in there in 10 days, but I wanted to make it spaced out so that you can be realistic as far as being able to reach the requirements that they need.
And that's a smart goal. And she hit on it right there. You can make a goal for yourself to do whatever, but you have to be smart about it, which means specific, which is how to become affiliate. That's very specific. Mm-hmm. All right. And then measurable. So you're giving yourself a 14-day. Mm-hmm. All right. Attainable. Right. So it's not nothing. It's not nothing crazy. Right. And then realistic. Give yourself again that time. I can say in 5 days you probably could do it.
No, not in 5 days. You can't do it in 5 days.
You can do it, okay, 10 days. 7. Okay, she can do it in 7. But for everybody, the average person, they can't do it, right? in 7 days. So you get you a little bit extra time. I don't think I said that A right. And then R is realistic. And T is the time, which you put the time at the 14 days. So it goes back to that. But when you say how to become a Twitch affiliate in 14 days, that is something that you can do. And it's achievable. It is achievable. Something that you can do. You do want it to be attainable. So I mean,
yeah. So this is the quick plan.
Oh,
I make it super quick and easy because you got to make it yourself. Don't read all that.
Go back down. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
We were trying to keep it short, so they gotta read the rest of themselves.
I'm not. I mean, the plan. I'm not even going.
No, read the plan.
You want to read it? Okay. It says attack each creation. Oh no, criterion. I can't. Man, my glasses. I need new. Attack each criterion through curation, planning, marketing, and engaging your stream. And then the how. You got the ABCD of the how. Mm-hmm. How 500 minutes. You got to curate 500 minutes of content. I'm guessing that's what that means. Correct. Okay. And then B, you got 7 unique days.
So you got to plan those days out.
So that's you do 7 days and then plan 7 more days, or you take the 14 days to plan your 7 days?
You take the 14 days to plan it.
Oh, okay. So you start day 1 after the 14 days?
It's whatever you choose.
Oh, you started when you get the plan.
When you read the article, it'll tell you more about it. We're giving you the cliff notes.
Okay, right. And then you got C, you got 3.
You have to have 3
concurrent viewers.
Correct. And that's all about
and then
marketing.
think about the market. So market or marketing?
That's marketing.
Oh, see, there you go.
Okay, teacher.
I'm just saying. But see, because she's the developer, we can go ahead, and this is why you got to have a team. Because I'm sure she stayed up a long time putting this together. And so your eyes, when you're developing a game, when you're developing whatever you're doing, your content, you putting your eyes on it, it is easy for you to, because you know in your mind what it's supposed to say. And so it's easy for you to read something and gloss over a
but it's
typo.
not supposed to be it's not a typo.
It's supposed to be market?
Look, the plan, the how. You curate, you plan, you market, and you engage.
Oh, got you. 3 concurrent. So, but why? Okay, so 3 can explain that 3 concurrent viewers.
So while you're streaming, you have to have 3 concurrent. So basically, 3 viewers constantly watching your stream. It can be different people, but within the whole time frame, you need to have at least an average of 3
to happen over those 7 days.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And then 50 followers and then it says engage. So explain to everybody what does it mean. Engagement is a key. So What would engagement mean? If they were going to look back at it, what would that mean to you? What would, if I'm somebody looking to make sure I'm going to make you an affiliate and I want to make sure they're engaged, what does that mean?
That means talking to the to everyone, which is no one, because usually you have only one viewer. You can talk. It's totally fine to talk to yourself or get used to talking to yourself. You can even answer yourself so that you can feel like you're engaged.
I thought that meant insanity. You talk to yourself, ask yourself, you insane. No, I'm just kidding.
But then, if you actually have people there, if they come and say hello, you gotta say, you don't have to, but it's really cool to say hi, get to know the viewers.
That is good form. To say hello when somebody says hello back to you. This is the South. We speak to people.
And ask them to follow. Because sometimes they'll watch and they won't follow. But sometimes they'll watch and they'll automatically follow because they're like, yo, this is a channel I like. So it's whatever your style is.
See, I'm going to tell you what you just don't know what you just did. Mm-hmm. So as I am, I'm not going to...
Do you like my... That's like
your equation.
No, that's
your combo moves.
Yeah, combo moves.
So crazy. That's so funny. That's so funny. I'm a professor of esports at Morris Brown College, and we have to do projects. So I'm actually going to make that a project for my students to do this year.
To see how many people are going to actually be able to get.
They're going to have to start. We want Morris Brown College esports to become affiliate and do that. The school's going to create its own Twitch. We're going to become affiliated in 14 days. I think we can do it.
Yeah, I actually got this from someone on Twitter was saying, become a Twitch affiliate in 30 days. So I was like, 30 days?
I ain't got 30 days to be spending.
Let's get it down in 14. That would be a doable thing. Okay, yeah, it is doable.
Okay.
I've curated a lot of...
Let's do it. I'm great. And then we're going to have to get you to come in, and then, you'll be a guest speaker. Now, listen, this is not this week. All right, because we're on spring break, so it's spring break for Morris Brown. So we get a little time off now. Now I don't get any time off because doggone it, I'm doing 50-11 things like everybody else. So I'm doing paperwork and filling stuff out and making sure grades in and taking somebody to dance and swim practice and all kind of things. So we good. Ooh, what's this?
So he's being a daddy, basically.
Yeah.
He's adulting. That's what it is.
Yeah, thank you, adulting. I have to tell my students. I have some students. Right, spring break was a good time because the students was like, you know what, Coach, I don't know if I'm gonna be. I'm like, listen, you're adulting now. This is what happens when you leave high school. You have to become an adult. So, and it's not that you're supposed to know how to do this stuff. We're gonna help you get there, but just know that you're gonna be doing it. But go ahead.
So let's go into some gaming news. First off, the Steam Deck by Valve has finally arrived, but with limitations. So they launched it on February 25th, and now you got to go online and you got to sign up to get on the list to get your Steam Deck. So how that works is you sign up, and then after you sign up, they're going to give you an email when it's available. Like they're trying to make it organized where they're going by first come, first serve. So once your pool is available, they'll send you out an email. You have 72 hours to fulfill that order then, aka at first you don't have to pay until they say they're ready and available. Then afterwards, once they say your order is ready, 72 hours, you got to pay it, boom, and then they'll deliver it to you. Sounds easy, right?
It does.
But at the same time, when it comes to first launch on things, now the Steam Deck is supposed to be comparative to a lot of things like...
it looks like
a Sega Genesis. Game Gear. Yeah.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Because the cool things you're supposed to be able to do is you're supposed to be able to log into your Steam library, and I have like over 800 games, and majority of those games you can play right there. So it's a mobile device that you can go around. And
how much that thing cost? You laughing?
Click on that here button.
Oh my God, you laughing because it's gonna cost like $1 million.
I don't think so.
How much is it? Because parents come.
There you go. $650 plus tax.
I'm gonna wait on that to go down.
You can get the 64 gig for $399.
I'm gonna wait on that to go down.
Let's talk about PC gamers versus console gamers, aka now that Steam Deck is more like a a mobile console, what
so
are we?
you can play your PC games.
That's what Steam is. Steam is
Right. Steam is all PC games, and I'm following you now.
Yeah. So all those games you bought on sale and all this stuff during that time, and
now,
you haven't been able to play. Now the smaller games are definitely compatible. Some of the bigger games have to still get their coding set up right.
Yeah, they get it to the right size of the screen. Now, what are the reviews on this? Like, how are people playing? Like lagging, responsiveness on the keys. How's the actual gameplay reviews been on the Steam Deck?
A lot of them are like mixed at the moment.
Okay,
but
as with any new technology,
but they're complaining a lot of times that there's constant updates. Which in a way, yeah, that can be frustrating, but at the same time, that's actually pretty good because that means that whatever bugs that are being that's going on, they're handling.
They're coming up right. So this is still like their beta phase where they have people play testing, and so you're gonna get that. And this is one of the reasons why I always say you never buy anything brand new the year it comes out because that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna spend that whole year, the new year, updating it and figuring out what's wrong with it. So
yeah, but you know what? The good news is Steam was actually first, of course, a DRM system. Mm-hmm. So for video games that you want to buy, you can buy it. You don't have to. If you lose your CD, oh well, that's cool. All you have to do is log into your Steam, and then boom, it's there because they attach, like, I guess a code or a key to your library.
Oh, okay.
So they have had many years of like updating their actual controller, the Steam app.
Oh,
the regular app.
Right.
So transferring to the Steam Deck I don't think would be too hard. But let's go to some like new issues that's going on right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
while we're looking at those new issues, being that it is Women's History Month, I want y'all, and we're talking about streaming, I want to make sure y'all out there following some streamers, some women who are streamers. And these are 3 I'm going to suggest that you follow. Okay. Epic Lala Girl. Epic, EPICLALA Girl on Twitch. Good friend of mine. Also, Bordy McBoard, and I don't even know how to spell Bordy McBoard, but it's spelled as just
BORDY McBoard.
There you go. It's spelled just like it sounds because she made sure she did that. Bordy McBoard, she's streaming all the time. And then also, I want y'all to follow. What's your streaming name?
Kimiko, KIMMIKO.
There you go.
I haven't been streaming on that one as much. I've been streaming on BESN TV1, so you can check either one of those out.
Exactly. So I want to make sure. So we want to make sure we put the streamers, my ladies that are streaming, my women that are streaming. We want to put y'all out there. Yeah, my ladies. You seen that little thing, that little Instagram reel? He's like, these are my ladies. This is something. No. Okay, we're gonna have to watch that. Okay. More news in the gaming front, and then we're gonna move on.
I'll let you just go back and forth on.
Let's see here.
Just go left and right.
Nintendo gamers in Russia just got locked out of digital game purchases. Ooh. Whoa. So that war that's going over there with the Ukraine.
Keep going.
Microsoft suspends sales in Russia, including Xbox hardware and games. I think there's the theme here. Activision Blizzard and Epic Games halt sales of games in, guess where? Russia. And then the video game world starts moving to cut off Russia amid outcry over Ukraine war. Listen, and I want people to understand that this is a multi-billion-dollar industry, right? And just like with, injustice, racial injustice, and gender equality, and just human rights violations, once we realize the power that we have, then we can actually affect change in the world. So this is actually pretty cool to see that, games that you play, it's more than that. This is a community, and we have to support our community. Yeah. What else they got?
Oh, yeah, Gary's Mod and Rust, their prices of their games are going up so they can support Ukrainian charities. New World suspends Russian localization amidst Ukraine invasion. And it just keeps on. Everyone's like Activision, Epic Games, EA, Microsoft, all halting sales in Russia.
I mean, and it's serious, and you know what? That makes sense. I mean, if you really want, I'm not. I've already said it. I don't think I have to say it again, but I'm gonna say it again. Put your money where your mouth is. Put your money where your actions are. You know what I'm saying? If we want to see things different in this world, then that's the biggest way. You hit them in the pocket. You hit them where it hurts, and that's where it hurts, in the pocket. It doesn't hurt, sanctions. I mean, it's a sanction. Other than that, I mean, that's akin to naval blockades to keep a trade embargo going on. I mean, that's what's happening. You're having a digital embargo, if you will, happening, and it's being sponsored not by governments but by companies and people. How best can you interact and make sure that things are done the way they're supposed to be done.
So do you believe this is an act of social responsibility?
Of course. Yes, but you always got to keep your eye on it, because things that are meant for good are often corrupted. So yes, social responsibility. Two things: you got to keep your eye on it to make sure. So if they're raising money for these charities, let's make sure the charities are getting the money, because that happens all the time. Whenever there's a natural disaster or a conflict or something like that going around the world, people take that as an opportunity to start charities and GoFundMe's and stuff like that. And people pour all this money in, and it ends up not going to the people. It ends up going to the government, of the place where the people are. And so if it's a corrupt government, the people are not going to see that money. They're just going to put that money in their pockets. They're going to take some photo ops and stuff like that, make you think they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So you gotta follow the money and make sure it's going where it's supposed to go. And then also, this can't just be an isolated incident, right? So with social injustice, it's same with anything that's social, right? You have to keep it going. You can't just stop it. You know what I'm saying? We talk about the NFL right now. NFL made promises about what they were going to do based on social injustice that they haven't necessarily made good on a lot of those promises. You got to do that. I mean, you see what's happening with the CARES Act, right? You got the president coming out talking about some, there's fraud been going on. And of course there was fraud. People just went out there and got that money, and they ain't do what they were supposed to do with the money. And so now it's got to go back. So now we're going to be going through this back and forth, which is going to impact the next time something needs to be done for the society if it's in the form of something financial. They're going to be like, well, look what happened with the CARES Act. Can you just give money out? Because if you give money out, they're going to commit fraud and da-da-da-da-da. Now, people who are sorely needing the money are not going to be able to get the money. So, again, you just got to follow the money. But it's a work in progress. And I think the more we are digital, the more, it's decentralized like with blockchain. By doing this through companies and people and not just governments, it's decentralized now. So now everybody can get into the act, and you can't, put the screws on one side of things without having to worry about everybody else. So now everybody can help in the way they should be able to help. And so hopefully that is happening. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about all the kids who don't understand what's going on.
Right.
They're from Russia, or people who are they're from Russia who's not into the war or into what's going on, and now they have to suffer as well because of the actions of their leader. And I mean, I'm sorry to be like that, but no, I know a lot of.
You're right.
A lot of us, especially, I know I'm a gamer and I'm not really into the politics and stuff like that. And so that the fact that it's hitting hard on even on the electronic side is like, wow.
I mean, that's a great thing. And again, prayers and go out to the families and like you said, the children, that are just, collateral damage. And that's a horrible way to say it, but it is, all of this is happening, but you're impacting so many other people's lives. Children are dying, right? And then not even that. Let's go a step a little further. You've had a lot of African immigrants that moved to the Ukraine that are now being allowed to leave. They're actually trying to recruit them to fight on Russia's against Russia. And things. So I mean, it's all kind of. The world is a very complicated and complex place, and you just have to be very mindful and vigilant when it comes to a lot of these different areas. So again, we we're with them, and we're going to continue to work and push past that as much as we can. And we're going to segment on over to the arts and anime section as we're kind of rolling through this particular subject. Arts and anime section here on this very, very serious episode.
I got super deep.
Serious episode of the GameFi podcast here at Live Hip Hop Daily Studios. Follow us live at Live Hip Hop Live at Live. You can see us streaming live on LivehiphopDaily.tv. Follow us everywhere. GameFi podcast, GameFi podcast, 2 words. 1 word, you'll get to us. And we are sharing what's in our hearts. I mean, like today, I guess it was a little bit heavy coming in, you know, like we said, a little frustration and just knowing that, you know, we're all business owners and we're trying to do our thing. And at the same time, while we're trying to do our things and we're struggling with what we're going through right now, then there's always things, real life things that are going on. We're still in the pandemic. It's not over. It hasn't gone anywhere. You know, people are still dying from COVID, you know, even though they're not reporting about it like they were in the beginning. They have, you know, these conflicts, and the conflict going on in Ukraine is not the only conflict going on in the world, right? It's just what's captivating the headlines right now. But these conflicts are happening all the time in different countries around the world. I mean,
even in the city.
Thank you.
Stuff like that. You got turf territory, but we're not going to go into it.
No, well, yeah, but that's what I was going to say. We have conflicts going on right now in America. You know, we're looking at the conflict that's going on there. It may not be to the extent military-wise that's going on there, but people are losing their lives here for different things and different conflicts, and it could be physical conflicts or mental conflicts. I mean, it's happening, so we just have to make sure that we are again, staying as vigilant as we possibly can on all fronts. And it being Women's History Month, a lot of women are, you know, stood up for things they believed in, and continue to stand up for things they believe in, and they're working hard to, you know, help our world, help heal our world, and things of that nature. So we want to make sure we're still doing that. But in this art and anime segment, animation segment, whatever, you know, I throw all the A's in there, all the A's. All days. Shouts out to Miss Courtney Bryant and Miss Nora Rashid at Drew Charter School.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to be doing some work with them. I'm actually going to be doing a PD workshop for about 20 of their teachers.
What does PD mean?
Professional development. And so
APD, you know?
Not a police department. Nah. Police right now. We're talking about professional development, and we're actually going to be utilizing one of our comic book creation workshops to start them with, because, you know, the education that we do, it marries critical thinking, problem solving with literacy. And so we want to make sure they see that, they learn that, and they can be able to implement that in their classrooms right coming out of the PD. So we're going to meet for like 4 hours, like on the 19th of March. So that's coming right around the corner. So it's really good. But shouts out to them, because I did a career day. Okay. And the kids loved what I was talking about. And, you know, I was like, well, did y'all ever want to create a character, a superhero? They're like, yeah. So, you know, once they did that, they were like, oh my goodness. And they just saw, and again, I'm coming from the classroom, so I love working with students. I love working with kids. So I have an opportunity to teach teachers to bring in what we're doing. And I saw a text message came through from a friend of mine. Shouts out to Charles Barlow Jr. checking. We actually are doing a lot of work with CS for Georgia, and representing and repackaging computer science education to make it more relevant to what we're doing today. So, and the lens that we're using is gaming. Okay. Because game design is computer science. I tell people that all the time. You want to talk about technology? If you can sit everything in technology and computer science right smack dab in the middle of the gaming industry, and you would hit every single thing.
Oh yeah, especially people forget, you know, the databasing, the engineering side is actually really, really important to keep that up, to keep, you know, the amount of pressure, especially when we started talking about, you know, MMOs and larger video games and stuff. But I wanted to tap back into the art section, because as we were just talking about all the stuff that's going on, not only that, you got gas prices, things are
Oh my
raising.
gosh, $4, y'all. Jesus.
$4.
I know you got it. You got a nice ride down there. What's your gas looking like?
It's $3.69.
Oh, okay.
It's still
He's
$3.
like, shoot, I'm still.
No. I went.
But I use the premium gas, so I'm paying $4.
Oh.
Yeah. See, you got that nice ride. You got that premium.
and also going back to 2020, there was a lot of stuff going on here in Atlanta and different places, and just all in all, the pandemic and everything. Altogether, I feel like art actually helped a lot of people with expressing their feelings and expressing what they wanted and change. And sometimes the art, especially in video gaming, going into a world is different from what we're experiencing right now. Sort of like that Ready Player One feel where you just zoom in, you just put in, and now you're in a whole nother level, whole nother world. You can fly.
You get to escape. You get to escape.
You really can.
And do anything. Look how you want to look. I was talking with somebody on last week, and we were talking about VR and going in and then hanging out with each other. And I know it was one of my students. He's wheelchair bound, and so he loves his VR goggles because he gets to just do all kind of stuff, go a lot of places that he's not able to necessarily do. And so when you're stuck in these type of places, you got to have a little bit of escape, but you can't escape reality forever.
Correct.
Can't escape reality, but I do appreciate the way that our art imitates life a lot of times, and so we're able to receive things that are harsh or hard topics. Through art, we're able to digest them a little bit better. I mean, comic books. I mean, my son, my 13-year-old, he was watching a documentary on Marvel. And they were just talking about, how Marvel always reflected what was going on in the times of when they were doing. So this is smack dab in civil rights, Vietnam. They were talking about this women's movement, gay rights. All of that was happening, and they made sure that they would try to touch on that as much as possible. But it was a hit or miss a lot of times because they wouldn't necessarily have. You were having all this done by white men, right? And so to have them interpret what they were seeing, they didn't quite get it right all the time. But now what you see, what's happening in the Marvel universe, they have a lot of different diversity in the authors who are writing and illustrating these comics and these stories. And so you get a lot of reboots and retelling of stories, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I was wondering how many X-Men's there were going to be. How many?
It's gonna be X-Men forever.
How many different versions of Spider-Man?
They talked about it. They actually talked about it. It's because and we said this word, because of the multiverse. Because of the multidimensional concepts and thoughts, it allows you to go down different archetypes for a way a hero could do. And it also sometimes you have to sunset a hero and start with a new hero. Somebody picking up the veil and doing something different, which is why, which is where Miles Morales kind of ultimately came from. Peter Parker died in his universe, and he took on the mantle of Spider-Man. If you watch the CW, you had Batwoman, which was Kate. I forget her last name. Kate was Batwoman, and then this recent one it has a black woman. I can't even think of her name right now; it's escaping me. But she took on the mantle of Batwoman.
Zoe Zendaya? I mean, not Zendaya. Zoe Kravitz?
I believe that's
doing Catwoman?
No, that's Catwoman. But yes. She's doing Catwoman in a new movie. Okay. She's in the movie with your guy from Twilight. She's in that. She's the Catwoman in that. Okay. She's the Catwoman in that. But just to see the reimagining, because there was a time where Catwoman was just what's actually on TV. Catwoman has always been a black woman. Because it was Eartha Kitt in the TV series. That's who played Catwoman, right? And then you went from there, and then in the movies it was Michelle Pfeiffer in the first Catwoman. I'm telling you, I'm a movie buff. I'm
Halle Berry was a Catwoman one at a time.
Who? Yeah, Halle Berry. Halle Berry did it after she did it, and so it was a retelling. So it's pretty cool.
Okay,
it's pretty cool. What we got? What you looking at?
Oh,
I see you scrolling and carrying on.
No.
You stay scrolling.
We were talking about art and things like that. So let's talk a little bit about the community, the art community. So what's going on right now is Microsoft just launched their Change X. So they're giving away around $50,000 worth of startup seeding fund for different projects. They have 16 different projects that you can choose for. Most of them are art related. So they got trade school, create an alternative learning community. They got the pollinator partnership, which you're like planting a pollinator friendly habitat. You got the Kaboom. They got a Lego League. They got a Lego League.
They had to have Legos up in there.
Grow Remote, Playworks, Peace First. That's new. I didn't read that one. Oh, the pop-up museum was interesting.
Nice.
So bring people together and through art and story. And they even have they have a lot of ideas, but some of the ones to touch on is they have girls who code. They have coders just in general, like game development coding. They also have one where they're looking for people who will put educational murals on local areas.
I want to give this. Keep going. I gotta find this young lady's name. I gotta give her a shout out.
And that one's really cool because they feel that children learn different ways. So what they see on the walls can also be artful and educational.
I love murals.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of mural and mural artists. Shouts out to Travis Love and Chris Veal and all you lovely mural artists out there. But
oh man, this is a young lady. Another shout out to Vivian Fuller at Booker T. Washington High School. She is a 9th grader. She is interested in comic books. She is an artist, and we just had a STEAM day. I got to make sure to put the A in there because Miss Courtney Bryan over at Drew, she was like, when they put that in there, they revolutionary everything. She's an art teacher, and I've known her for a long time. But this young lady, when I told her about what we do, when she came to, she thought we were just nothing but gaming, right? Mm-hmm. But then when I talked to her about what we do, comic book creation, and you can do graphic design, she lit up immediately. Mm. And so she started talking about the character she had in her head and wanted to put those pictures in her head, and she's an artist as well, and just to really put it out there. So we're gonna definitely bring her in as an apprentice and a mentor, a mentee for us, so we can see her create. But shouts out, again, allowing these young people to be able to the permission to create. They don't always know that they can create. So you have to. You don't have to have anything expensive. Like I said, even with streaming, art, anything. You just use whatever's in front of you. And just make it happen. Start now. Try. I mean, a pen and a paper, a pencil. And then as you grow, you'll upgrade to different things. Of course, they got student version and professional version. Mm-hmm. But don't feel that you got to jump into professional at all. Exactly. Be okay with starting small. You know what I'm saying? So one more tip on the anime part. Atlanta Gamer Life had their first anime social. March 5th it was, and it was great. I missed anime social. I guess she wasn't paying attention. See how she's gonna put it on me like that. She ain't call me. She called me for anything else. She ain't had, hey man, we got a social, man. Yeah, so shouts out to Black Coffee Atlanta on Jonesboro. That's where we hosted it at, and awesome. It was a really nice time. When is the next one? I don't know yet. I'm thinking on it. I done missed one, so y'all gotta have another one. I'm sorry. A lot of people kept asking me. Okay, so yeah, gotta do it. It's gotta happen. All right, y'all. You know what that beat means? It means we're moving into the music section of the GameFi podcast. This is the one that Ruben Wood was like making that face on. Yeah, he was like, I wait on my Ruben, what happened to the sound pack? I wait on my pack. Nah, we're calling you out right now. Hey, we gonna get together this week. We're gonna get together this week, man. I'm on spring break, so we're gonna get together. We're gonna put it out here, man, and do what we do, all right? Okay. But I mean, hey, the kids like it. It was a STEAM fair at Washington, and I had my roles, and I had them listening to a little bit of stuff, so they thought it was pretty cool. I'm just saying, I mean, hey, it's somewhere to start. Like we said, get started. That's all you got to do is get started. GameFi podcast, everything gaming, arts, music now, esports and film, Live Hip Hop Daily Studios, LivehiphopDaily.tv, GameFi podcast, everything social. We in the house.
Gaming, arts, music, esports, film.
Did I leave the film out? Was I leaving the film
I
out?
said everything was social. Okay.
Oh, my bad. Well, see, that's why you gotta have a team in place. Because in my mind, I said film, but obviously I did not say film.
Or maybe you did, and I totally zoned out. We never know.
Oh yeah.
Until we play it back.
Oh yeah. So we're moving on that music. Anything new that you've been hearing about in the music? I'm going back. Shouts out again to Miranda Johnson Mochaverse. She actually created some interactive virtual reality concerts on her platform. She's a developer.
Okay.
And so that was the first thing I saw of her. A friend of mine was like, you got to check this out. And then I saw it and I was like, who is she? And shouts out to Renee Gardner. It was Renee from Access Replay.
Oh, okay.
She introduced me to Miranda, and she's like, you got to check her out because she is dope, and that's all I can say. And I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna let you see this. And I was like, oh my God. And then so I had a clip of it, and at Washington, I was showing some of my students. I was like, guess what? Can you get with this? And when I took it back to Morris Brown, I was showing my students. I was like, can you get with this? And they was like, oh my God. They was like, they would love to be a part of that. So do you think more and more we're going to be experiencing more and more virtual concerts now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Fortnite kind of hit it off with a lot of these different concerts. The best one so far is the Travis Scott one because you actually were able to, like, they did a lot. They made it to where you can, like, fly, swim around, and your character was moving. So the AR part, not the AR, but the part, it was nice. But all the rest of them they was just like up there with their characters, and everyone's jumping around, playing around. But but to have to go back to that Travis Scott experience, if you guys ever could find someone who recorded it. I recorded it, but I don't know where it is. I'm gonna look for it. But
save your recordings. That's on everything.
That it is a great experience for people, and even now, if you have a VR system, they actually have like videos that are in, like, they call it 5D or something like that. So basically, it's almost like you're in the actual studio with them and watching them perform.
That's what's up. And to go back to this Ready Player One type of universe, I mean, to be able to go in and listen to a poetry slam, listen to music, jazz, whatever genre of music or whatever bit of content that you want. She's even developing, and I hope I ain't putting out her trade secrets. I'm not putting out her trade secrets because she's developing a movie theater as well. So you're gonna be able to go in there and watch movies. You know what? We gotta have her on like next week, so she can like really.
Well, we've been had movie theaters in the virtual world. That's always been the thing.
Oh well, shoot. When I looked at that one,
it's really easy to do the movie theater one because you just sharing the same stream at the same time.
True.
At the same time, doing that extra step and making the environment look really cool.
Exactly.
That's still good because. She still the Mochaverse person or something?
Yes, same. That's the same young lady.
So think about it. If you're trying to make your own world, your own universe, you do want to put your own touches on everything. So having the ability for them to not go to any other quote unquote game or application, they can go to this world in order to, live their social life. Go watch a movie, go watch, go to a concert. And like, don't think that because of this Bitcoin stuff and all this is, super new. All this stuff's been going on for years.
For years.
Cause I was part of all those IMVUs and Second Life, and even Gary's Mod had a good actually movie theater that they made, put in there. So like all these people who created worlds, virtual worlds that you can go into. It was in a 3D environment or a 2D environment, but you're able to go to these virtual worlds and you're able to interact. So that's dope to see that she's making it on a more larger scale, and not just for the action of gaming. It's socialization, it's creating an ecosystem.
Everything. You can just jump in there and you can kind of do everything. I've been following Party Island a little bit. They've been out there. They've been out there doing that thing. So shouts out to Party Island, man. Y'all keep it up. Keep up the good work. You might as well. And oh my goodness, what's my man from Jamaica? Oh my goodness, man, he has such a great name. But I also been following on West Keys and Pusha Hef. So they're doing their thing out there. And you know, those are local artists that are here in Atlanta making it happen out there. Shouts out to Zion Moore. He had a concert out there at UGA just recently, doing his thing. And so these are some of the people who I've been talking to that I'm going to want to introduce to Miranda, because you know, this would be an opportunity to really put some of them out there, put some of their concerts. And I mean, I told her, you know, this is gonna be like a Napster type effect. You know, I mean, the more opportunity somebody got to perform and get out there, and they had that one music singing show where they had people were singing like an avatar. Like they were on stage, and they might have been called an avatar. I don't even know what it was called.
And then there was another one as cosplay. They cosplayed, right?
Oh, you talking about the mask singer? Yeah,
that was crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's coming out with like mascot.
Yeah, but shout out to Mike Sick and Soulful Cypher. They're now doing they're coming back up with their Sunday things again.
Okay.
So if you want to support them, if you go to Patreon and search Soul Food Cypher, just check out their actually, I'm very impressed by their Patreon, how organized it is, how they put different content in there. They actually really utilize almost all of that Patreon system. So, and
that's something that a lot of people don't do as well. When you get websites or you get tools to use, you only use like 20%, 10 to 20%. And that's saying something if you're using 20%. But usually people are using less than 10% of what it's meant for. So to be able to get that and actually utilize, we talk to performers all the time. When it's a stage, you need to utilize the entire stage. Don't just stand in one place. And a lot of people, developers, content creators, you know, they tend to only stay in one position when you need to diversify, if you will, some of the things you're doing. So to hear you saying that, I'm glad to hear that they are doing that. Shouts out to Atlanta. You know, I've gone there a couple of times now.
Okay.
All right, I've sat down and talked to some people. I had a little bit of burr. You know, it's a brewery, so I had a little bit of burr while I was there.
Right down the street from us.
Right down the street here in Castleberry Hill. So give them shouts out. It was started by Nappy Roots. So, you know, again, it's a connection to music. And so some of the things they want to do is bring in some of that flavor.
Yep, music and art, and their art in making brews.
Exactly. So it's a great place to unwind, to do if you're here in Atlanta. So definitely, shoot by there if you get a chance.
Okay.
See Boogie and what's Skinny and what's the other guy? Scales. Yeah. Boogie, Skinny, and Scales. Go check them out, man. They're real good. They'll take care of you, man. It's a real cool vibe, a real cool spot for you to unwind. And some grown folk type of unwinding, trying to knock the table down.
I know, right?
Man, but shouts out to all of the musicians out there. If you have some music or anything you want to talk about, you want to get a chance to, put your music out there, please hit us up in the DMs, GameFi Podcast, and we'll be sure to connect with you, and we'll try to get you out there. That's what we want to do.
Yeah, and our show is now live, so.
Oh yeah, we live, so you can get here.
We're not even really a podcast anymore.
You can spit some bars. What am I? I'm not a podcast. I mean, I have a podcast, but what do you call it? It's a podcast show. Is it a vlog? What is it?
No,
what is this now?
Like a podcast talk show.
Podcast talk show. See, I'm moving up in the world like elevators. Yeah, man.
So we're in music now. Where are we going to?
Oh, well, let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Esports. Woo! Yeah. Doing my march like a march band. And then they be dancing. You gotta get your dance. Got a gush. You just call that when they be hunching real fast. Gush. Shouts out to oh my goodness, Battle of the Bands happened last week. Last week or the week before, it was a week or two ago. They had the Battle of the Bands. So shouts out to all the bands that are in the Battle of the Bands, doing their thing. And shouts out to all of the marching bands, all the musicians out there, high school, college, middle school. Shouts out to dance teams, the drum lines, everybody out there that's having a good time. Literally, shouts out to Prairie View A&M. They have a show called March. It's on, I don't know, I think it may be Peacock or Philo or something like that. They're streaming. But they have a show, and they're talking about the Prairie View A&M marching band out of Texas. And so, that's real cool. I mean, they doing their thing. I mean, marching bands, what's up? And on the front of esports, the Washington High School Bulldogs pulled off a stunning yet inevitable undefeated rally in Madden 22 in the play versus league for Atlanta Public Schools. For Georgia High School, actually. They represent one of the schools in Atlanta Public Schools. But they did their thing, man. I had these young men. They came out there. And, again, shouts out to the staff and the coaches at Washington High School who are supporting them. And so, being that it's right down the street from Morris Brown College, we have them coming in because we're putting out that we want them to do esports and participate and compete, but these schools do not have the equipment or the infrastructure in order to do it. So, we are providing that, but we have to do so much more. We can only handle one high school, to be honest, because they played multiple games. I mean, we were online with one game and they had to forfeit. The other team had to forfeit because they didn't have the bandwidth inside the school to support. They were playing Rocket League, Smash, and Madden. And the Madden kept going in and out because the other games were playing at the same time. So you can't just voluntold, hey, start this team without giving infrastructure. So, hey, officials, superintendents, y'all got to put the infrastructure out there for these students.
Yeah, we might need someone to help, build that budget for them and get that budget.
I mean, hey, we know how much it costs now. All y'all got to do is call me. Give me a call. I'm right at Morris Brown College. Pharaoh's Conclave will come to the rescue. I got Chemical with Atlanta Game of Life to make sure the streaming is there. And I always say BSEN, but BESN TV. Mm-hmm. Thank you. And what does that stand for?
Don't put me on the spot.
We
changed it a little bit. We changed it a little bit.
Really? I didn't even know. Black?
Well, I think we changed it to BIPOC now.
Oh,
that's why. But it's not officially out there, so I don't want to put it out there.
I got you. It's made for the BIPOC. Say again.
Entertainment Sports TV.
Entertainment Sports TV. Gotcha.
Or esports TV.
It works for me. So make sure y'all checking us out. Follow that as well. My boy Tim Fields and the whole team over there making it happen. For a shizzle.
Yes, and speaking of esports, remember earlier in the gaming section we were talking about, well, you don't really need that money to start up things, but when it comes to esports, that's another playing field because everyone, in order to make it fair, you kind of have to all have close to the same equipment, you know what I'm saying? So if it's PC gaming, everyone has to at least have the minimum requirements. When it comes to the console gaming, that's the same, and altogether, bandwidth is really important as well.
Most important. I mean, if you want to fail miserably before you even get out the door, don't have adequate data. Don't have adequate.
That upload speed is so important, especially if you're going to live.
It's not. Yeah, the download is not the most important part.
I mean, download's good too, but upload is like a lot.
I'm talking like when you're playing it. Yeah, when you're playing, because you needed to. Well, I guess it's got to go both ways. It's got to down because what makes it lag? Because
it's a mixture.
It's your refresh rate on your screen to be able to stay, and that's what. And to go to what you were saying, everybody has to have at least the minimum equipment requirements so that they could compete.
Yeah, and shouts out to Dedrin Sneed and Kat DeShields. We used to do a Tuesday talk on Clubhouse called Esports for Everyone, and what we could do to make that actually equal. And some of the suggestions during those times that we made that was actually going into mobile gaming.
Yeah.
because they're all going to be using the same cellular data stream or Wi-Fi stream, as well as the equipment. So that could be, but
It's still you can still drop it though, because I mean I've been on Clash Royale, and I have a pretty good. I'm on AT&T, and so and it's pretty good. But you still have dead spots, dead areas that you go into. That I'll be in the midst of a game, and then I have some lagging, and then by the time it comes up, now I got all the goblins coming at me and the skeleton armies coming at me like real fast, and I'm like, oh my god. So but thankfully I have some good defenses that once I get on, I can put them up and minimize the damage as much as possible. But I love mobile gaming though. I'm into mobile gaming big time because it allows me to do a lot of things. You know what? I found out about some websites. Do some game emulators to let me play some old school Nintendo.
Okay, that's
and
cool.
some stuff. And when you're bored, some things things like that you can go on and play while you kind of just trying to pass a little bit of the time.
Now, the only thing about esports and mobile gaming as well is the fact that now we almost come through the same issue where every phone has a different requirement. This phone is $1,200. Or do you want a $1,200 desktop? It's like, oh wow, should I go on my mobile phone? Should I spend this much money so I can get the highest CPU on it, or should I just go ahead and get myself a desktop that's going to actually do the job too? So your opportunity cost has to actually pan out which one is better, or is it that you always get a new phone and pay that amount of money?
But that dollar tag creates divide at that point. I mean, there are communities that are not going to be able to afford that, namely our community. They're not going to be able to, which is the reason why we bring the students into Washington. I mean, from Washington to Morris Brown College, is because they can't afford that. And so, just through the grace of God and just amazing partners like yourself and other community partners, we've been able to get the equipment in that we need for them to be able to play on, if it be PlayStation or Switch or Xbox or PC, so they can play any of the games, and then come there and do what they do. But we still have work to do too. And
you can learn. I mean, you better make them work. You better make them do something.
Oh no! I told you I got to.
And they need to work.
So part of their strategic part of the strategic plan for the program. So they are building actual programs at their school. So this is an esports educational and workforce development program. So imagine a business school and the athletic program marrying to one another. That's what they have to build at their high school. So they have to build they have to maintain the page on the website for the esports team. They've got to make sure that they got to build the social media. They have to build the stream for the school. They got to build, they got to do their shirts, the merchandise. I mean, they're going to do that too. They're going to manage themselves. They're going to do all of those different things that esports company, or let's say a team like an Echo Fox or somebody like that, or Fnatic or somebody, they got to do all the stuff that they have to do, and it's good for them because they get to learn right now. That's like apprenticeship. Now, I mean, they're apprenticing at an early age, and they're figuring out exactly where they want to land in there. If it's not pro playing, then they could be on content creation or being a community manager for the team, producing engineering.
When you do live sports, those graphic designers or video editors, they're amazing. I'm like, how do you do that so fast?
Thank you. I was watching one of my students, shout out to Jure. She was taking some video. She maintains the SGA Instagram and some of the other pages for Morris Brown College, and so she does a lot of the videos. And I'm watching her, and she's coming in doing this, doing this, and then doing all that kind of stuff. And she did, and I'm like, oh my God! I'm like, how do you do that? But they have that mind though, and that's why we want to make sure these young people get in as soon as possible, because they have that kind of mind. They can create that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, and you ready?
Yeah. So we did gaming. We did arts, we did music, we did esports. And now let's get into film. GameFi podcast, everything game and art, music, esports, and film. We're entering into the film segment, the last segment. On this day, on this first episode of March. Shouts out to all the Pisces out there. You know, I just had my birthday March 3rd. I'm 44.
Woo! Happy belated birthday.
Appreciate you. Doing my thing. Had some good food. Got a chance to get some good rest. And just got some good shout outs and reconnected to some friends I haven't talked to in a while. It was cool to do that. And so, and then you got kids, and so, you know, it's on your birthday, they want to try to make sure they make it as big as possible. So, you know, it's always lovely to see the babies loving on you on your birthday. But again, shouts out to the Pisces, you know, because we make this world go round. Film segment. This is also a TV segment, binging. I got some shows that I've been binging. There is a show called Blind Spot. It is awesome. It is a young lady there in the Bay Area, there in Oakland. Oh my God. And the way, it's kind of like ATL in the way that, you know, it's the cinematography, but they put a lot of good Bay Area flavor and music in it. And so they're going to these, they got dancers all the way throughout. So every now and then you'll see the dancers do some interpretive dancing and they'll do whatever. And then, they get hyphy on them. Man, I love it. You know, I used to live out in the Bay Area, so I'm going, area. Yeah. Man, but I enjoyed it. I binged that. What else did I binge? You know what? I watched completely. You know, I did Vikings Valhalla. You know, because I like period pieces. I like that kind of stuff, man. And I actually binged the new season. I guess they got some new episodes coming out. But I went all the way to a season, and it was starting to talk about Leif Erikson. So so I like TV shows are starting to do more of that too. They're starting to intertwine, you know, either past or current history in the shows that they're doing as well. So you get to actually learn a little bit while you're watching the shows.
Educational entertainment.
There you go, edutainment. You know what I'm saying? People have been talking about that a lot. And so that's really cool. So that's two shows I've been binging. Of course, Bel Air has been good. I've been watching Bel Air. Sisters from Tyler Perry. Been watching that. Haven't really watched any movies lately. I gotta catch. You know what? I gotta actually see Encanto from beginning to end. I haven't seen that one yet, and that's that on Disney. And then Sing 2. I haven't seen it. I gotta see it. What else is out there? I guess I'm gonna go see the Batman when it becomes released. So
I thought it was already released. People are watching the movies.
Yeah, in the theaters. I'm not going to a theater right now. We're still living in the COVID. You ever seen that movie Outbreak? Come on now. Outbreak monkeys up in there coughing and carrying on while I'm sitting there trying to enjoy my movie and I'm laughing and there's particles going in my mouth. I can't do that. Come on, son. I mean, we're doing that right now, sitting next to each other, but at least I know y'all. I've been around town for a minute, but I don't know who's going to be in that movie theater with me trying to watch Batman. I can't.
That's true.
Come on now.
So I've been watching a lot of serious, dark movies, like or shows like C on Apple TV. They got 2 seasons of it, and so I finally watched the second season. Amazing. Definitely worth watching. Westworld was another one that I watched. That took forever, but it was good.
I never really got into Westworld. I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't get into it. That's that whole Avatar / Android / downloadable universe type stuff. All rolled up into one. Total Recall rolled up into one, and I don't know why I never really got into that. I might have to try.
There's also, what was I watching? Japan Sinks. That's on Netflix. That's another apocalyptic anime.
Okay.
And then there's what's that other one called? It was Chernobyl. I think it was on HBO. I saw that. That was actually kind of sad, but it was alright.
Yeah. Natural disasters, well, that was an unnatural disaster. But, I mean, those type of epic disasters, I should say it that way.
Apocalyptic style.
It's very tough, very, very, very tough to realize that kind of thing. But, I mean, it's plenty of stuff out there.
It was weird with Chernobyl because I used to play this game called DayZ, and I didn't know that DayZ was based on that whole situation.
Really?
Yeah. So when I saw some of the buildings and some of the architecture, I was like, wow, I've been in that one.
And that's the cool thing that you can do with video games. You can go places that you can't really go, and actually see things that you can't see, past, present, or future. You know?
Yeah, I used to have to catch, goats, and sometimes it'll be bugged out where I'll like get multiple cuts of meat, and then there's like charcoal tablets just in case I drank the water for real.
Oh Lord! I mean, they was
Because you had to. It is like
was
survival
serious.
worlds are so good. It's like your own movie in itself.
I mean, for real, one of the students is playing. It's a different. It's not the forest. I think it's Survival or something. It's a surviving video game. She's in the forest. It was based on. She was saying it was based on the forest, but it's a different type of game right now. But she was playing that and she loves it. Same thing. You got critters over here. You got animals over here. You get bit by a tarantula. I mean, anything can happen in there, but you gotta, deal with it.
What about you? What you been watching?
I kind of been busy. I've been working.
Yeah,
I've been watching 9 to 5 in my eyelids.
But he's been doing a lot of filming, right? So what you been filming?
Not necessarily filming. Well, I just did the Eagles concert Friday.
Okay.
I've been doing a lot of concerts. I've been doing a lot of staging work. Was traveling. I was just at home. My little brother got engaged. So
shouts out to little brother.
But I have been watching Snowfall. I caught up. I had rewatched the whole Ozark, so now I'm caught up to season 4. So I might
okay. I need to do that.
I got to as well.
It's a Lakers series that's coming out on HBO, but it's like it got actors and all that. It's like a documentary about magic, but it's like real actors. It's like a drama.
Okay.
So that came out tonight. I'm gonna watch that. Power.
Force.
Force.
Force with Tommy.
Yeah, Force with Tommy.
Yeah. It's interesting. A lot of cool stuff.
I did watch Euphoria. I was watching Euphoria. And that's it, really.
There's so much out there.
Yeah.
Man, there's so much out there.
Atlanta, we are now just full of film. I live by the Gym Studios, and they just started doing some construction over there as well. So I think they're going to actually expand on their studio space that they have.
It's a bunch of studios. A lot of big buildings being converted into studio spaces. Did you ever get a chance to go look at the one on 85? They trying to
No, but there's a lady who bought up a whole bunch of land to make film studios. I'm trying to remember. So they were comparing her to Tyler Perry because what she did was she bought a whole bunch of land somewhere, and it's going to be like a studio village or something.
Nice.
Ava DuVernay, is it?
I don't know. Is it? I'm not a film
I don't know. It'd be cool if she did.
But
I mean, but Atlanta is a great place because Atlanta still got space. We still got land out here. Yeah. If you trying to, if you want to get into it, I mean, people doing. Shouts out to C&C movie studios. She's doing her thing. She started as like a kind of a kid actor, and in music and stuff, and then she bought a strip mall basically, and then started building sets. And now she's expanding, and she got all these different sets, and you can actually go in there, and you can film music videos, movies, shorts, whatever you need to do, and you pay by the hour. Okay. It's like $100 an hour, and you get to do what you need to do. And she does have equipment there that you can rent and things like that, or you can bring in what you need to do, and you don't even have to just use one set. You booking the time. Right. So if you got 5 sets, and if you plan, like you said, you go in there, knock it out. Knock it out and make it happen, and it's already there for you. So shouts out to her as well. It's so much opportunity out here, and she's a African American female, black woman. So Women History Month, making history here in Atlanta, doing her thing. So I'm getting calls and emails from people who are really trying to do studios and sound stage type stuff. Okay. And so it's cool. But and the cool part about it is they want to make sure they're including esports into that, making sure they're dedicating space for competitions and tournaments. as well. So they're including that in there. They don't just want to do film. They understand that they need to make sure that space is used constantly. So they got to make sure they include gaming into it as well.
Okay, cool.
I think that's about it, y'all.
Yeah.
Think so?
For now.
Can we call the peoples?
Yeah.
All right, call the peoples. There it is.
No.
Thank y'all so much for joining us once again on the GameFi podcast. Coach E in the house, sitting next to Kimiko, Atlanta Gamer Life herself. I'm just gonna call you Atlanta Gamer Life because you are Atlanta Gamer Life. Got Jay Black behind the ones and twos, doing what we need to do. Thank y'all so much. We're in March, y'all, and we're gonna keep it going. Make sure y'all continue to follow us on LivehiphopDaily.tv. Follow us on GameFi Podcast, everything. Pharaoh's Conclave. Check out PCXNow.com. We got a lot of stuff cool going on. Hey, check us out at Morris Brown. Follow us there too. Morris Brown Esports. We everywhere. We doing what we do. So we got some cool stuff coming up with Atlanta Hawks Talent GC. So we're gonna have Ashford Taylor come out and talk to us a little bit. Somebody get there, but we're doing all women for March. It's all lady March.
Okay.
All lady March. We got it. So that's what we're gonna do. Hey, we'll see y'all again. Practice what you preach and preach what you practice.